This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. Let's go ahead and get started. This is brought to you by Unstoppable Domains. The numbers this morning, guys, so many of you have had killer unstoppable domains. Keep going with it. I know I'm addicted to it. And by the way, I bought HollywoodCelebrity.crypto. I think that's going to be great. I bought CelebrityBlog.crypto. And I've been going for the whole blogger aspect where there's huge bloggers out here, but I know there's no trademark or infringement issues. So I think that's going to be something that could really sell for a lot sometime in the future here. All right, Bitcoin, $10,607.17. Ethereum, $339.77. And XRP is 24 cents. Drilling down on the numbers, 0.2459. And we are looking at a market cap of 11 billion plus. The 24-hour volume is down 3.4%. The 24-hour volume is 1.8 billion, almost 1.9, and the total circulating supply is 45,162 million plus. Let's get to it. All right, so big comments and remarks from Chris Larsen and Brian Brooks in yesterday's LA Blockchain Summit. Let's go ahead and get to that. But first, I want to remind everybody what we covered yesterday morning. Contour Trade Finance Enterprise based on blockchain has officially launched. It is live, ladies and gentlemen. The digital platform is set to deliver a global network and services for trading finance over a distributed ledger, uniting buyers, suppliers, and banks on its platform. If you don't know, there are 8 huge banks here: Standard Chartered, BNB Paribas, HSBC, Citibank. A lot of these, obviously, you know from being in this space a while, are connected either directly or indirectly to Ripple and XRP. So this is exciting, and R3 is partnered with Contour to really help them by letting all of the participants build on the Corda platform. Obviously, the Corda platform also allows you access to the Corda settler. So the Corda settler uses XRP for settlement. This is getting very, very exciting. Now, let's keep this moving because we want to get to the comments. Chris Larsen said he's thinking about taking Ripple and moving it out of the country. But before we hear what he says, and listen, I have quite a perspective on this, and I want to share it with you. But let's listen to what Brian Brooks has said real quickly here in the conference yesterday. Pretty powerful words from him. Here we go right here.
We'll speak to that relatively shortly. But still, the EU is out in front of us. We are supposed to be the global financial leader, or at least we have been for the last 50 years. And I want to make sure that we retain status, even as other countries are looking to catch up. That requires that we move faster.
That is a huge statement right there, and it does require them to move faster. Now, let me move forward here because there's this comment here I want to hear from Chris Larsen, and shout out to Digital Asset Investor who put this comment up here. And listen to what he says here as well. And by the way, Brian Brooks went on to say that they are working with the respective agencies in the United States on stable coin regulation and reform, however you want to say it. Excuse me. And to me, that's exciting because I just want to drop it on you for a second. You know, there's been quite a few people out here, like John Carlo says that XRP is currency. There's even others that have referred to XRP as a stable coin or even a global stable coin. My question is we need to, will we see the stable coin regulation encompass something like XRP? And if not, what is the clarity that we're going to see from either the OCC or FSOC, Financial Stability Oversight Council, which was confirmed by Brian Brooks that he believes they need to have some kind of broad policy, just like housing finance policy, on the matter of cryptocurrency. So let's keep going here. This is Chris Larsen expressing his frustration here. Here we go.
And the message there is blockchain digital currencies are not welcome in the US. If you want to be in this business, you probably should be going somewhere else. Now, to be honest with you, we're even looking at relocating our headquarters to a much more friendly jurisdiction, lots of them UK, Switzerland, Singapore, Japan, and that's a shame. So we've got to change up here, or we're going to lose our leadership, stewardship of the global financial system. That would be a tragedy for the U.S. And I don't want to go too long on this, but one thing just to think about, if China controls the next gen financial system, that's an illiberal democracy financial system. You could expect things like social credit scores to determine who's going to be able to make a payment. It's like as far away as the vision of digital assets, blockchain, as you could possibly get. It's a worst case scenario, and it would be really terrible for Americans.
And he nails it right there, and he's really on the mark. However, what I would say is Chris, don't pack your bags just yet, buddy. I think we're going to be okay, and I know I can say that with, a real confidence because, I haven't put in the time and invested my life into this the way he has. I know I sound a little tongue-in-cheek, but I really don't think we're going to have a problem here, and I don't think Ripple's going to need to move anywhere, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so first I want to start, before we do that, let's go strongest internet companies built in the U.S. in part because of regulatory clarity. We have the opportunity with blockchain and digital assets. Responsible players like Ripple aren't looking to avoid rules. We just want to operate in a jurisdiction where the rules are clear. DCEA, I think it's Digital Commodities Enforcement Act of 2020, right? So shout out to Brad Garlinghouse, and shout out to Michael Arrington, which is the post that he retweeted, which was actually a post from digital asset investor who remarked on the fact at the time of the conference was going that Chris Larsen just said Ripple was thinking of relocating due to a lack of regulatory clarity in the U.S. Shout out to all three of them. So, okay, so here's the deal. So I don't think we got to worry about going anywhere, and this is one of the reasons why. Let's just take a look at this. This is from Darren B. Moore Seymour, who says, actually, XRP and Algo are complementary. XRP are well positioned for wholesale central bank digital currency, CBDC, aka intra-banking. Algo is positioned for retail CBDC, stablecoins, and digital assets. Both are focusing on regulation and the ISO 2022 standards. Look at this diagram. Interledger Protocol family in the ISO 2022 ecosystem, which is the de facto standard for payments around the world. And you see here clearly Ripple, Interledger, XRP, R3, Swift, right? Trade finance. You see all of these things sitting in here. IBM and Stellar, Hyperledger Fabric, XLM, Corda, ISO 2022 standard. I mean, it's all right here. Trade finance, Zinfin, XDCE, JP Morgan, Circle, USDC, Algo, Algorand, Accenture, Consensus, SAP. I mean, it's all in here. You can see this, how it works, right? So, okay, now that's not all, because I want to go ahead and keep moving. And remember, in the last 45, 60 days or so, maybe even the last 90 days, we've had more clarity come onto this scene than we've seen in the last 5 years of this space. How about that one? Yeah. Federally chartered banks and thrifts may provide custody and services for crypto assets, from Brian Brooks in the OCC on July 22nd. Yeah, federally chartered banks can custody digital assets, Chris. I don't think you need to pack the bag just yet. In fact, then they put out another letter just in September and said, you know what? And those same federally chartered banks can hold reserves for the issuers of stable coins, really legitimizing the stablecoin market. Remember, Brian Brooks has clearly said that this is about a convergence of being able to bring the private tech and the innovation together with the regulatory clarity and framework. Really, that's what you see here in these instances. You see the ability to legitimize stablecoins by allowing them to be monitored and held in a federally chartered bank. Wow. Yeah, big stuff. Then we go here and we had the Securities Exchange Commission, who put out on September 25th, we're not going to take any action. It's a no action letter for security tokens and alternative trading systems that trade digital asset securities. So it's the SEC saying, green light, go. Okay? Green light, go. I don't think we got to pack any bags. And in fact, to even further build on the point, do you remember this little fun bill? or not bill, but this little code that came out and went into effect on July 21st from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They passed a rule July 21st, effective, that basically, in order to see the transparency of a cross-border payment from a bank or a credit union to another entity across the world, there's two solutions that were cited in this document, and it was Swift GPI and Ripple and XRP, the virtual currency. Yes, that's right. Somebody might want to get a copy of these to Chris, right? So here's what I want to talk about, because it really comes down to this right here. It comes down to whether or not you believe Congress gets it. And we know that there are 3 bills in Congress. And we know that those 3 bills that are associated with digital currency have been tucked into one bill. They've been passed through the House here in the U.S., and that's the conversation we're having right now. We know that this is an international effort, but right now, the largest economy in the world has not passed what it needs to give the clarity for someone like Ripple to use XRP with all their customers and partners in mass to be able to see the real kind of movement in price because of the use case utility being put to work here. So what are we really looking at? What we're really looking at is this. I did a diagram of this on the live show on the Digital Ledger channel, and I would keep an eye out for that and go sub to my other channel, the Digital Ledger channel, because I will be doing some impromptu live shows going forward, but they will be random because my schedule's so crazy. However, I wanted to retouch and make a tight video of all of this information for you guys, and here it goes. Yes, there is a bill that passed with 3 bills tucked into it for digital currency past the House. It's into the Senate. As we look at this dynamic in the landscape right now, it looks like it could be easier for it to get through the Senate than it was for the House. But they got it through the House, so we're really not that far away from these things. I feel like what Chris was really doing was creating a call to action, as well as Brad Garlinghouse. And I think it was the right thing to do. And put the pressure to continue to put this stuff through and give us the clarity we need right now, not some other time, right now, because China, to the point of what Chris Larsen had said, is well ahead in this race of the CBDC game. And there's a lot of others out here from Singapore to Switzerland and the UK that are much further ahead in the way of understanding what these things, these assets are, right? So here's the situation. You know, trying to educate Congress, right? It's tricky. It's tricky because there's, 400 some, there's several hundred people there in Congress. And the reality is a lot of them think Bitcoin is synonymous with the word cryptocurrency. They don't know a lot about it. But you know what? At the end of the day, they really don't have to. Because what you're looking at here is the right or left. It doesn't matter. It's all handled the same way. Don't believe it. It's still true. But the reality here is this. They don't need to know a lot about it, because who we've been following in this space are the people with the money. And the people with the money are the ones that run this world, whether they feel they subscribe to a right or a left philosophy. Don't believe that. It's still true. So the reality here is that these people in Congress really don't need to know a whole lot about it, because they can just look at the report that's on their little desk. And the report on their desk is the findings of the McKinsey report from the Faster Payments Council task force from the Federal Reserve from 2015 until now. That recommendation in that report says Ripple is the answer. So the reality here is this. If someone wants to get elected in their little town and they want to win, and then they go to D.C. to serve their respective area, right? Their district. That's great. But the reality is if you want to win again, you're going to need the funds from the National Party campaign funds, because those funds give you the access and the power to beat whoever challenges you when it's time for your election cycle back in your little town. Now, the same goes if you're on this side of the table too. It doesn't matter. The game is played exactly the same way. So the truth is they don't need to know a lot about it. All they need to know is that the people that built this space, this is where the money comes from to all of these these big campaign funds. So the reality is once this money's given to these parties, that is where the initiative comes from for them to pursue certain agendas. The money's put in, and now we want to see this developed, right? So what do? You tell the little person that is here representing their district, you better find a way to sell what we need to get done through the philosophy or the ideology of the platform that you support. I don't care how you do it, but you better get it done. Because if you don't, we're going to shut the door to the National Party campaign funds, and you won't have access to them, and the person that's challenging you in your little district's going to beat you, and we'll see if they figure out how to work with us when they get here. That is the political lesson for the day, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the reason why I believe Chris Larsen, Brad Garlinghouse, or any of us don't have a need to worry about whatever is going on, because if they don't give us what they want, they'll be gone. All right, that's going to do it for me, guys. Hit the like and subscribe. Remember, we've had more clarity in legislation over the past 60 to 75, maybe even 90 days than we've had in the last 5 years. I don't think it goes backwards at this point, and if anything, even if they don't understand the difference between Bitcoin and Bitcom, I think we're going to get the resolution we need, and we may just get it sooner rather than later. Hit the like and subscribe, everybody. Make sure you share with somebody you know, and leave a comment below. I'll catch all of you on the next one.